If you've ever read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, then you know that Rich Dad always talks about the difference between an asset and a liability, and that the rich, they buy assets, and the poor and the middle class, they buy things that they think are assets, but are actually liabilities. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about your largest asset or maybe liability there is, and that is your house and why it might be better for you to actually rent. So I'm going to go over 5 different reasons why you should rent instead of owning your own home. Hey guys, I'm Hoan. If it's your first time, welcome to the Hoan Zone. This is where we multiply the assets you own, and maybe by buying a house, you're going to be multiplying your assets, or are you actually multiplying your liabilities? We're going to get into that. But what most people are shocked when they hear about is when I tell them that I actually rent where I live, because I am aware that where I live is actually a liability, not necessarily an asset. So I actually have no problem with renting, and that's why I'm creating this video today about the 5 reasons why renting might be better for you than owning. All right, so reason number 1. The best reason for renting is because you can move. It's super, super simple to move. And if you hate your neighbors, you move. If you don't like the school district, you move. If you need a bigger house, you move, or if you need a smaller house, you move. So it's super easy to move. Now, you can always move when you buy a property, right? You can own a property and you can still move. But if you're going to buy another house and sell the previous one, if you don't live in that house for more than, say, 5 or 7 years, you're going to lose out because of the closing costs. The closing costs, the transfer taxes, all of that is going to have a huge impact on how much money you keep. So if you don't live in your property for over 5 to 7 years, that's usually the break even, then you've actually lost money. So buying and then moving and buying and moving, buying and selling, you're going to lose money. So renting, it allows you to move with less cost. Reason number 2. When things break, you just call somebody to fix them, right? When you're a renter, you don't own any of this stuff. When stuff breaks, you just say, hey, my heater stopped working. Hey, the roof is leaking. Hey, the bathroom's leaking. Whatever it is, you call somebody else. Now, you guys as landlords, because I'm teaching you guys how to buy more properties, that's going to be your responsibility for the properties that you rent out. But when you are the renter, then you get to have that same luxury. So when things break, you get to call somebody else. It is actually a pretty nice perk. Reason number 3. There is no honeydew. Okay, there is no honeydew. And what does that mean? Well, it's, hey, honey, can you do this? And honey, can you do that? And sometimes the honey, can you do this, may cost you thousands and thousands of dollars. Honey, can you change the kitchen? Can we redo the cabinets? Can we redo the countertop? Can we put in new appliances? When you're renting a place, you're typically never doing any of those changes. And because you're not doing any of those changes, you're not spending any of the money. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, but I like doing those things. They're going to make me happier. Will they though? Will those updates actually make you happier? I don't know, because desire only exists when you don't have that thing yet. And as soon as you get that thing, desire goes away. And if the desire is not there anymore and you have this new kitchen, are you still happier? We'll see. But without that honeydew list, you get to save thousands and thousands of dollars and man hours not having to do those things. So renting, no honeydew. Number 4 of why renting is better than owning a house: the amenities and the community. So if you guys don't like people, then maybe renting in an apartment complex will not be for you. But if you do like people and you like meeting new people, then living in an apartment complex, that's a great thing. And in addition to living in an apartment complex with all of these people, there are going to be great amenities if you live in a luxury condo, or I'm sorry, in a luxury apartment building. They might have a really large pool. They might have a really nice gym. And those features come without you having to service any of them. So you got this big pool, you don't own it, but you get to use it. Fantastic. Best of both worlds. And then there's this big gym with all of this equipment that you get to use. Again, fantastic. You don't own any of it. You just get to use it and you just leave it there. So that's really cool. Usually at your house, you might have like a mini gym. You might have like a Bowflex or something like that, like a small piece of equipment. Nothing like a full-size gym. And you might have a pool at your house, right? But it may not be as large as one that would be at an apartment complex. So amenities and the community. With the community, you get to network with other people, and then you might be able to raise your funds from there. So if you guys are real estate investors and you're raising money from other people, well, voila, there's your community right there of people you can raise money from. So amenities and community. Finally, number 5, small down payments. You don't have to put a whole bunch of money down when you go rent a place. Typically, it's first, last, and security at most. Sometimes it's just first and security. And if it's just first and security, that's a small amount of money compared to how much it's going to cost you to go out there and get a loan, pay for transfer taxes. And then if you're going to sell the property, you have to pay the commissions for the sales side. There's a lot of money that goes into buying real estate. And because of that, that's going to eat away at how much you have in reserve. So if you're renting, you just get to keep all that money that you have in reserve, and you can use that to go buy real assets, things that put money in your pocket. So this way, you can live where you want to live, and then you're going to have all this extra money to go invest and make more money. And then so you're going to use that money to go buy a property that's going to make more money, and then you're going to have more money coming in because you own a property. So then you're going to use that extra money to go buy another property, and then it's going to snowball. So you're going to have a whole bunch more money simply because you chose to rent. Now, obviously, you're not building equity and all that kind of stuff. And if you don't tap into your equity, you're not using that equity anyway. So renting isn't so bad because you put a little bit of money down and you get to live where you want to live. And then you use your extra money to go buy the things that you want to buy, such as apartment buildings or rental properties. So that is the 5 reasons why renting is actually a really good thing. I'm curious, which one of those was your favorite reason for renting? And do you rent or do you own? And do you look at the place that you own as an asset or a liability? Some people, they're like, oh, this is my biggest asset. And other people realize that this big home that they have so that they can keep up with the Joneses is actually eating them alive. And they're just like, oh, this is my biggest liability. So how do you feel? Is it an asset or a liability, the home that you live in? All right, guys, if you like that video, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell icon because we release new videos every Monday and Wednesday here at the Hoan Zone, designed to help you multiply the assets you own. I'm Hoan Zone I. Let's multiply.